All right, let's not beat around the bush. Crypto kind of sucks right now. And I feel like this is very similar to the sentiment back in March of 2024 that we also had. And we all know how that kind of played out. Now, in this video, I really want to talk about XRP and HBAR specifically, which technically does pertain to the altcoin market itself anyways. So pretty much anything that we do talk about when it comes to altcoins, it revolves around the entire altcoin market. So if XRP and HBAR are doing good, most of the altcoin market should be doing good as well. And I want you guys to understand that. But we have a lot to talk about, right? We have a lot to go over because today is also the weekly market breakdown. So let's sit back, relax. Welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you do become a subscriber. So let's dive on in. Let's talk about a few things. Number one, fear and greed. Right now, we're at 35. And listen, I see the comments. I see what people are saying about crypto. This goes all the way back here to September and October, where we were trading at fearful levels as well. The only difference is Bitcoin was $60,000 then, and right now it's sitting at $96,000. When we look at this market right now, this is what we're seeing. The crypto market cap is hovering around 3.16 trillion. Dominance on Bitcoin is still well over 60%. Bitcoin has not moved. I mean, this is the Bitcoin price chart in the last 7 days. I mean, look at this chart. It's kind of comical, but we have done absolutely nothing in the last 7 days. This is the last month for Bitcoin. Again, no price action, not a lot of, price movement. Like, yeah, we had this nice move down to like 90K, and then we had that push up to like 108K. But outside of that, like nothing actually has happened in the last month in crypto, which is why a lot of people are kind of getting frustrated. They're getting bored. But this is also a very good time to be a part of this market, because while we are starting to see a lot of the altcoin market, chopping with Bitcoin, we also see a lot of discounts. I mean, if we look at the last 7 days, and I brought this up on multiple, occasions already, we see that most of this market has sold off in a big way. I mean, it's kind of crazy when you look at some of the price action. Like, I'll just grab Injective for an example, right? If we look at the price chart for Injective, look at the last year on an Injective. This thing is down 61%. This is what the all-time chart looks like. Just for reference, it was $50 back in March of 2024. We're coming up on 1 year. And the price chart itself is almost getting back down to levels that we haven't seen since going back to October of 2023. There is a lot of great opportunities out there in this market right now. But it's not just Bitcoin, right? Like even Ethereum, the last month, this is what the last month looks like for Ethereum. It's down about almost 20%. This is what the 1 year on Ethereum looks like. It's up 6%. The altcoin market really hasn't done much. I mean, even if we zoom out a little bit, let's go back to the bear market lows. I mean, Ethereum hit about roughly $1,038. Guys, it went to like $4,000. It didn't even break its all-time high. Now, XRP, don't get me wrong, XRP has done very good, right? This is the last month on XRP though. Not much price action at all. This is the 1 year. Now, XRP has done very well since the bear market lows. Anyone that is talking down on XRP right now is ridiculous. It did like a 10x move since the bear market lows. But the big thing to focus on here is XRP did this while we're not even in alt season yet. HBAR, we look at the 1 year, up 200%, go back to the bear market lows, hit about roughly 4 cents or so. We hit almost 40 cents, another 10x move. But look at the last month. These altcoins have done absolutely nothing in the last month, the last 7 days. And almost every single chart looks like this, where it's boring sideways price action. It's just chop. Now, during this time, what are we expecting these altcoins to do? What are we expecting this market to do? Are we expecting this market to sell off in another big way? Because in my opinion, I believe that these markets are about to rip in a big way. Number one, it's tax season, right? So we're about to get a lot of people getting money back from taxes, and that money is going to look at some markets to probably throw some money into, or they're going to just go shopping, right? That's basically it. Maybe it's going to pay off some bills, whatever the case may be. But every single time around tax season, we do start to see these markets heat up in a big way. I feel like March of 2024 was a perfect example of that, right? Like here we have January into February, we did kind of sell off. I mean, we went down to about like almost 40K. This is like right before February. Again, into February, we kind of chopped a little bit, but then we had a nice surge up, chopped a little bit, going sideways during this entire time. But we did hit that topping point on Bitcoin. It's a local high, right? We hit that local top, and after that, we just chopped, but we ran up into March. If we go back to like prior bull runs, for an example, like 2021, right? We had a nice surge into, the middle or so of January. We sold off into like the end of January, into like the beginning of, February. And then we surged. Again, we hit a topping point. This is the local top in April. But it's right around tax season, right? It's around like the March, April, May time period where most of the market wakes up in a big way. Now, are we following the 2021 cycle perfectly? No, we're not. But if we look at the candles here, we could see that right now we're just kind of chopping on Bitcoin. I have the, chart open over here. This is what the chart looks like. But if we look at the past previous cycles, right now, we're just chopping against this trend line. Back here, you can see January into February, we did sell off in a big way. Now, it didn't take much time for us to actually have that next big move, but we technically already had two impulses on Bitcoin. The first one was back in, 2024. I mean, during this entire time, we were just kind of, trading against the 2022 all-time low, aka the bear market low. Bitcoin has done a very good job, but I don't think that it's finished yet. I think that we have one big massive move left on Bitcoin, which should take Bitcoin to about roughly 150K, hence this rectangle up here. That's my overall target on Bitcoin. But again, the whole point here is that most of this entire market typically likes to wake up around the March time period. I mean, even if you go back to 2023, again, March, April was a big impulsive move for Bitcoin. I mean, even here you have it chopping into February. It's very similar to that 2023 time period where we have that massive sell-off, right? And then we have the next big impulsive move start. We've already had, if we think about the entire market over the last couple weeks, we already had, a lot of chop and a lot of shakeouts already happen. I feel as if we're just chopping here. This next weekly candle should be extremely bullish on Bitcoin. It should be extremely bullish. We've been chopping sideways for about 77 days. You might say, all right, well, during this entire 77 days, we did hit an all-time high of like 109K, almost 110K. Like, yeah, sure, we did. But look at the price action here. We have no weekly candle close over the, highs since going all the way back to like December 16th. And we've just been chopping sideways. There hasn't been a strong impulse move. Like, for example, this November 4th weekly candle. There hasn't been a big move since going back to roughly the end of November into like the beginning and the middle of December. So we're waiting for that next big move here on Bitcoin to actually happen. Now, just for reference, we're 77 days into this sideways momentum. Back here in March, all the way up until the point where we started to bottom out, that took about 238 days. All right. Or 175 days. Sorry. The actual impulse move took about 238 days in total. Now, do I think that we have to chop sideways for about 175 days until we find our bottom, which will take us to May of this year? No. And if we took 238 days, that would take us into July. I don't believe that that's the case. I think that we should already be at our bottom point here. There is a fair value gap that we need to be aware of around 80, almost 2K to about 89K. But I don't think that we are going to hit that unless we lose this trend line, which we shouldn't. We should technically hold, and we could, see this on the chart as well. We have this nice low here. We have a higher low. We should hold and maintain this pattern. When it comes to HBAR, when it comes to XRP, the big thing that we're watching for, and this goes for the entire altcoin market, by the way, is for Bitcoin to start this next impulsive move while Bitcoin dominance continues to reject. We already have a nice strong move on the weekly here where we did hit a significant area of demand. All right. And now we're chopping against major resistance, where now we should start to really kind of focus on what matters here, which is, again, we want to see bearish structure form. We want to take out this previous low, create a lower low against this low and against this low. So we want to see 54.5% lost on Bitcoin dominance, which from our current level, that would be, just to get back down to that level, this would be an 11.3% drop, a total of almost 7% drop on Bitcoin dominance. Now, while that's happening, if Bitcoin itself starts to have that nice uptrend form off of this trend line, say for so it just goes to retest the high recently, that's almost a 14% move on Bitcoin. That's enough to have these altcoins trading at their previous highs very quick. Now, if we're talking about it going to, almost $150,000, let's say 150K exact, we're talking about almost a 56%, jump on Bitcoin. And if that's happening while Bitcoin dominance is selling off, then we will start to see XRP dominance and even HBAR dominance moving to the upside. Now, I will say XRP and HBAR on their dominance charts. So this is XRP. This thing is just trading in a nice uptrend wedge where it's kind of just chopping here. We're waiting for that next big impulsive move on this chart as well, which will happen when Bitcoin dominance does have that sell-off. And the same goes for HBAR dominance as well. This thing just hit a fair value gap. We're trading on, that we wicked down to that resistance level from November 25th. And now we're just kind of chopping within this. Now this could chop for a little bit more time, technically, but I am expecting that upper trend line to be broken and for HBAR to start a nice move to the upside on this chart. I mean, it's already trading at all-time highs if we're going back to 2021. I'm expecting this thing to move significantly to the upside. If I'm going to guess, 1 to 3% is the dominance level that I do think that HBAR is going to hit. Very similar to like ADA back in 2021. XRP, we're already at about 4.5. I say 10+% on XRP. But I'm also watching the Bitcoin pairs for these. The XRP Bitcoin pair is still in a very strong uptrend, and we're waiting for this thing to break significantly to the upside. I mean, if we're really looking at this and we go back in time, there's not a lot of patterns on this chart very similar to what we're trading in right now. But I will say this, what we want to see is we want to see a very strong impulse move from this. We want to see something very similar to what we saw in the beginning or the middle of November, where we had these very strong weekly candles. We want to see a lot of momentum. That's the big focus here, is momentum against Bitcoin. All of these, Bitcoin pairs for these altcoin charts, they won't see that momentum, build, or we won't even see momentum at all unless the dominance chart for Bitcoin starts to drop off. I am expecting this thing to have that massive sell-off. I've shared with you guys on multiple occasions the 12-month chart. I showed you guys the macro view. This time is not different. A lot of people want to say that this time is different. I understand that right now, a lot of these altcoins are selling off in a big way, but I want you guys to also realize that we're trading against all-time highs here. Like, when we look at HBAR is a perfect example of this, right? Here we are chopping. we're chopping in this, you know, it's not even a wedge. It's just chop in almost like a bull flag formation. But we're chopping against price action that we haven't seen since going all the way back to like 2021. This is where we do see the major shakeouts. For an example, look at February of 2021. We have that major sell-off, okay? Now, this was not like a small little sell-off. This was a 44.5% sell-off right before the strongest impulsive move on HBAR to almost 50 cents. These price moves within this market, you can even go back to like the end of January into the beginning of February as well. Like, here's a 40% drop as well. These 40% pullbacks, and even right now, as we do look at, you know, HBAR, it's down 55% from its previous high, 50+%. This is a shakeout before we finally trade at all-time highs. Because look at how far away we were from a new all-time high. We were 41% roughly from a new all-time high on HBAR. Right now, current price action to the all-time high, it's about 130, 140% away. This is a typical shakeout right before the largest move on these charts actually happen. So when we look at XRP, when we look at HBAR, and when we technically look at the entire altcoin market, they are coiled up for a massive move. We're just waiting for Bitcoin and Bitcoin dominance to play along, which I do expect them to do so very soon. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, set notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.